so in love with this man. In the 5 years that we were separated, I was in pain.
Imagine stumbling upon a disturbing post from Gypsy-Rose, the same Gypsy-Rose who became infamous for suffering unimaginable abuse at the hands of her mother and then later being convicted for conspiring in her mother's murder. But this post feels different. Gypsy looks different. Her expression is unsettling, and the caption reads something cryptic, like new beginnings for a moment. You wonder what kind of new beginning she could be talking about after everything that has happened.
Couldn't get over him. I always felt lost, and I felt like the time that we had together while I was locked up.
But as you take a closer look, a sense of dread begins to creep in. This isn't just about moving on from her past, something darker is at play. As you start piecing things together, it becomes clear that Gypsy isn't just trying to share her story or speak for those who can't. She might be attempting to manipulate her way out of the situation, pulling others down with her. But how did it come to this? What's really going on behind the scenes that's making Gypsy more dangerous than ever? Recently, Gypsy made a shocking announcement she's pregnant. But almost immediately, people began to notice discrepancies in her story. The timeline she provided didn't add up, leading fans to question her truthfulness.
Like, we were robbed of a real relationship, of a real chance together. We were robbed of that. I just can't express enough.
At one point, Gypsy claimed to be 5 months pregnant, and then suddenly it was only 3. This inconsistency raised eyebrows, with some fans bluntly asking, which is it, Gypsy? You can't be both. Another pointed out how her story keeps changing, creating suspicion that something isn't right. Some believe this is a desperate attempt to garner sympathy and stay in the public eye. One user summarized the situation perfectly, suggesting that Gypsy is crafting a new narrative and this pregnancy is just another chapter in her book of lies. Others remarked that Gypsy knows how to play the victim card better than anyone, and this time her deception could be more dangerous than ever. It's not just about lying, it's about using those lies to manipulate and control those around her. But why is she doing this? What is she hiding? And more importantly, what is she planning? As if the pregnancy scandal wasn't troubling enough, there's another piece to this twisted puzzle, Ken. If you've followed Gypsy's story, you know she's in a relationship with a man named Ken. On the surface, it may seem like
How happy he makes me. And I know I'm falling right now. It's just, I'm so emotional.
Gypsy has finally found happiness, but if you look closer, a darker truth emerges. According to reports, Gypsy and Ken have been very public about their relationship, often sharing intimate moments on social media. But something feels off. It's as if Gypsy is using Ken to create a new image for herself, to distance herself from her past. And the scary part is, Ken might not even realize he's being manipulated. One insider claimed that Ken is just another pawn in Gypsy's game. She's using him to maintain her victim narrative, to prove she's moved on, but the reality is far different. Some speculate that Ken is being manipulated into playing along with Gypsy's narrative, whether he realizes it or not. One fan commented, either he's completely blind to it, or he's complicit.
Because we're having a baby. We made a baby together.
Either way, this is bad. This possibility is chilling because it suggests that Gypsy's manipulation is more dangerous than ever. She's not just deceiving the public, she's pulling those closest to her into her web of lies. As you connect the dots, the picture that emerges is nothing short of terrifying. Gypsy-Rose isn't just trying to escape her past, she's trying to rewrite it. Her lies about her pregnancy, her manipulation of Ken, and her increasingly erratic behavior on social media all point to someone spiraling out of control. But why? Some believe Gypsy is desperate to escape her past, to create a new identity free from the horrors she endured. Others see something more sinister, a woman who has learned how to manipulate those around her and is now using those skills to craft an even more dangerous persona. As one user put it, Gypsy isn't the victim anymore.
I can't deal with Gypsy-Rose. Handpicked for Earth by my grandma in heaven. She unalived that woman
anymore, she's the villain. And the scariest part is, she doesn't even realize it. This isn't just about Gypsy lying to the public. It's about someone so deeply entrenched in their own lies that they can't see the damage they're causing not just to themselves but to everyone around them. Gypsy's actions are spiraling out of control, and it's only a matter of time before something truly catastrophic happens. Gypsy might think she's fooling everyone, but the truth always comes out, and when it does, there won't be any more new beginnings for Gypsy, only the cold, hard reality of the choices she's made. But this isn't just about Gypsy. It's about how society has allowed someone like her to manipulate the narrative for so long without consequence. It's time to hold her accountable, to stop enabling her behavior, and to put an end to this dangerous game before it's too late. As we dive deeper into gypsy-rose's recent behavior, the unsettling truth becomes even more apparent. Her actions are not just impulsive reactions to a traumatic past, they are calculated moves in a game where she is trying to regain control. The pregnancy, the relationship with Ken, and her cryptic
She unalived the grandmother. Like, I can't... Does she forget? Did she forget why she went to jail? That she did it? That woman is... She's unhinged.
social media posts all seem to be pieces of a larger strategy to manipulate those around her, and perhaps the public at large. But why? What drives her to such lengths? Some suggest that Gypsy is driven by a deep-seated need to redefine her identity, to escape the narrative that has followed her since her mother's death. After years of being portrayed as both a victim and a criminal, she may be desperate to create a new story for herself, one where she is not just a survivor but someone who has completely moved on from her past. However, this new identity comes at a cost, and it's not just her well-being at stake. The more we examine her actions, the more it seems that Gypsy...
I just want to share my story. I want to be a voice for the voiceless. I want to come out and just tell people this is who I am. This is why I'm doing this.
is losing touch with reality. Her attempts to rewrite her history are not just harmful to herself, but are pulling others into her dangerous spiral. Ken, who may be unwittingly caught in her web, could become collateral damage in her quest for a new life. And if the baby she claims to be carrying is real, then this innocent child could be drawn into a world of lies and manipulation from the very start. The public's role in this saga cannot be ignored either. The media frenzy surrounding Gypsy's case has, in many ways, fueled her desire to stay in the spotlight. The attention she receives, whether positive or negative, reinforces her need to keep crafting new narratives. And as long as the public continues to engage with her story, she will have an audience for her ever-evolving tale. This brings us to a critical question: what responsibility do we, as a society, have in this situation? By continuing to follow Gypsy's every move, are we enabling...
Important to me, it's close to my heart. Munchausen by proxy syndrome, this is why I want to share with others
her behavior? Are we giving her the platform she needs to continue manipulating those around her? It's a difficult question, but one that must be addressed. Gypsy-Rose's story is a cautionary tale of how trauma, manipulation, and the thirst for control can lead someone down a dark and dangerous path. As her behavior becomes more erratic, the stakes get higher not just for her but for everyone she touches. And if we don't take a step back and reassess how we're engaging with her story, we may find ourselves complicit in whatever happens next. The reality is that Gypsy-Rose is no longer just the tragic figure she once was. She has become a complex and, perhaps, even dangerous individual whose actions could have far-reaching consequences. It's time to stop romanticizing
what I've been through, is because if somebody out there is watching this, they can see me and know that they're not alone.
Her story and start addressing the real issues at play before it's too late. As we conclude this deep dive into Gypsy-Rose's descent, one thing is clear: this is a story that is far from over. The choices she makes in the coming days, weeks, and months will determine not just her future but also the futures of those around her. And while the truth may eventually come to light, the damage done in the meantime could be irreversible. So, what will Gypsy-Rose do next? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: whatever happens, it will be a chapter that no one will soon forget, and as the world watches, we must ask ourselves, are we merely spectators, or are we part of the problem? Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth investigations into the stories that truly matter. Let us know in the comments below, do you think Gypsy can turn her life around, or is she heading down a dangerous path? Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest celebrity news and controversies. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next in the Gypsy-Rose saga. Stay tuned.